Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
I will probably mute for a little bit because I'm eating something crunchy.
Yeah, no,
But
that's fine, and I'm not really starting just yet. I know I'm gonna try to start closer to 2 o'clock. I'm still setting a few things up, like so I can
ah,
watch
okay,
the chat and things like that. So.
got it.
Way we can lose it now is by touching a funnel, because then the game recorrects the count, which you'll see on the next level, but we'll use it here.
Please
Just in
stand by.
case you didn't believe what you saw the last chamber, here's a pit, and this is flying. Don't look down, I guess.
What was that?
Please stand by.
Hmm.
Still trying to get set up.
Apparently, I forgot to mute, so I hope the crunching didn't bother you.
I heard no crunchies.
Okay.
Crunch. Crunch. All right, there we go. I'm not quite sure how or if I don't remember how I used to watch like both streams and their chats. I'm sure I had a secret to it, but I don't remember what it was. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. I've got YouTube up on my I've got YouTube.
Yeah, I'll do that in a moment.
I've got YouTube up on my iPad, so I can look at the chat there, but I don't have Twitch up anywhere, and I may have to do that for this to work.
Says Uncle Mikey Plays starting
Yep.
soon.
Yep, that's me. All right, let's log into Twitch on my phone if I can. I don't want to sign up. I want to sign in. There we go. Silly machine.
Well, I'm gonna have to mute YouTube though because
Yeah, it gets weird if you're listening to too many things at once. I had to do the same thing, of course, because I don't want to hear it. I just want to see any chat that happens there.
very occasionally I think about Twitch streaming, but like I play only a few games and I play them badly.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm exactly brilliant at it, but I do enjoy it. And I'm trying to see who else wants to see.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me yesterday, by the way. That was
Oh,
fun.
yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And that's in a lot of ways I consider that to be the brilliant thing about streaming at all is it means you get to, if you don't have the time to play and to learn a game, you can still watch a game. And right. I don't think of it necessarily the same way as like sport. Like I don't watch competitive play very much. I also don't play competitive games very often. There's a reason why city builders, for example,
I will occasionally watch a world first attempt in WoW.
Yeah.
Just because that can get interesting, but
sure.
But like competitive StarCraft or whatever, or competitive Fortnite, or I don't know what games are competitive. I'm just like, no.
Right. Yeah, no.
I don't care whose thumbs are fastest.
Right. Everybody's twitchy on their thumbs or something. I don't know. I'm still waiting on a code from Twitch so I can watch Twitch on my phone, and it's being slow, or my network is, which is also, I guess, possible given that I'm jamming up my network with the stream. In fact, I think that's probably what's going on here. But my phone could also just be possible.
Bobby Kotick will leave Activision Blizzard on January 1st, 2024.
Yeah, I saw that.
Could not happen to a nicer guy.
Right? Nobody's
it would have been better if it would have been better if he was out on his ass today.
Yeah.
Or a year ago. But
yep.
Yeah.
Samira, I see you. Hello. Over on looks like you're over on Twitch. Which I'm trying to get into so I can actually watch the chat there, but I do see that you said hi, so hello. We're gonna actually get started with the game in a minute. Especially if, my technology behaves itself, which most of it is, but some of it isn't, because that's the day I'm having.
Other people are watching and listening, so I should behave.
Yep. Samira, I'm also streaming over on YouTube. And in fact, I think that's the link. I actually posted that link over to Facebook, but let me see if I can paste it here. Of course I can't without... No, it's not letting me. It's being a pain. Why does it think I'm not signed in when I'm signed in? Because it hates me. Anyway, if you go over to Facebook, I know you're not on Facebook much, but if you go over to Facebook, I've got the YouTube link there. Okay, good. See you over there. Hopefully I will eventually get Twitch behaving itself too. But... Oh, you know what? It might be my own stupid fault. I'm waiting for something in text, and it was... There we go. That one worked. works. For some reason, my phone is just being really slow on my own network, and it's very frustrating. But, I think, therefore I am. I think I am going to get this party started. So hopefully the game is now visible. And this is the game I have been playing for a little while. Hang on just a minute. I think I might actually have...
YouTube is still saying starting soon.
Yeah, no, there's always going to be a lag there.
Okay.
That's fine. There's always going to be a bit of a lag. And now I'm just trying to see the chat there. Okay, now I've got the chat for Twitch up on my phone, I think, and I've got the YouTube on my iPad, and I've got the game on my screen, and I don't know how professional streamers do this.
They have a whole setup.
They have a whole setup, right? I mean, I do know. It's just, yeah.
Thanks, John, for the information.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's a time. I'd need a bigger desk. I'd need more monitors. I don't think I want to bother with it. It seems like too much work.
Lighting.
Anyway,
you need lighting.
Yeah, I'd need lighting. Well, I'd only need lighting if I'm going to actually have a camera. But I've decided, at least for now, to not have the camera. I did have the camera, I remember, back when I was doing the Dragon Age streaming.
Wow, Twitch, it's Uncle Mikey is not the same thing as Uncle Mikey.
That is correct. I am Uncle Mikey 42 on Twitch.
Because I am suddenly watching a fighting game.
Yeah, and Samira, yes, I know it's zoomed out. It's zoomed out because I've only just gotten started. So now I'm zooming in, and let's have a look at what I already have. So I'm not starting from scratch here. This is a city I started a couple of weeks ago during a test stream just to my Discord. It is named, as you can see below, The Last City, which is a little apocalyptic, but this is probably the last city I'm going to be building in City Skylines 1, because City Skylines 2 is coming out.
These are the last words I have to say.
Just a couple of weeks. Also, the guest voice you hear is my friend Grumpy, or JC. He's online via my Discord. So
yeah, it's not Billy Joel. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, no. Although, you know, if Billy Joel wants to join my stream and watch me play cities, that's cool too. I am playing a heavily modded game. If you've ever played the game before and you've only played vanilla, there's a bunch of stuff you probably won't recognize. And that's fine. I'll try to describe what's going on as I do stuff. But first, I'm just going to take a quick tour of what I've already done. I don't have a lot of people on right now, but that's okay. You know, maybe I'll put the video up for people to watch later too. So here we go. This is where the city started. In City Skylines, you always got to start with a highway. The map gives you a highway to start with. So here we are. This is where we came in. And this is also probably going to be the future downtown. I've actually already started giving it a bit of density. I think I have a high-rise ban in effect, so it's only going to be medium density. But this is where I'm probably going to make into something of a denser downtown kind of area. And I've actually got two villages here, basically, two different districts, and they each have different styles. So the style on the left to the west, because I'm calling where the highway comes in arbitrary north. So the style to the west is kind of a mix of everything the game can do with the mods I've got. The style to the east is just the European stuff that comes with the game and some of the DLC. So that's why the high density looks different on each side. Each side has a distinctive style going on right now.
I think your downtown should be cyberpunk.
You know, I'm thinking about using the cyberpunk. I don't know if all the assets are actually there though, but I might use the cyberpunk eventually. I don't know yet. So right now, most of my districts are named after people on my spoilers Discord on the Highliner. So we have the village of Alidra over here. We've got Renesville here. Um, this area in between the hill and Renesville is just very cunningly named the shops between, and it's a little commercial district. And then I started building up on the hill because I needed a suburb. I needed more low density residential. And while I've been trying to respect topography as much as possible, here I'll turn on the topographic lines. I've been trying to respect topography as much as possible. The truth is, if you go to a place that's very hilly, I mean, JC knows this. He lives in upstate New York. But I also was just in California and was reminded that when you live in a place that's got a lot of hills, you build on the hills. And if that means you do a bit of terraforming with bulldozers and explosives, then that's what you do. Sometimes it means you literally just build row housing straight up the hill. I don't have any of that turned on right now. I might, for fun, eventually make this suburb west and east hillside, although I don't know why I called them east and I think at the time I was thinking this was north when I named them, so they're not really well named. But the two hillside neighborhoods right now are all low density, but I might just for fun allow them to go to middle density by putting a high-rise ban on, but zoning high density. Yes, I did in fact name the central district here the Nipple, because I mean, look at it, really. And then I've got two major industrial zones. I've got my original industrial zone here near the initial highway entrance. And right now it's fine for traffic, but I could see that eventually, if that gets denser, I could see that getting ugly. I've also got a full landfill here, which I'm eventually going to have to deal with trash-wise, although I think what I did was put down some recycling centers to take up the trash load. And we're doing okay with that right now. And then over here, I've got a farming area, and I've got an ore mining area. The ore mining area will eventually get redeveloped because ore actually theoretically runs out, although I may have a mod in place right now that means it won't run out. I don't remember.
I always use the infinite supply mod.
Yeah, I don't think I have that particular mod, but one of the other mods I have in place may actually be giving me infinite supply. We'll see, but if it does actually run out, then I'll just redevelop it, because that's what happens in the real world. You use up a natural resource mining area, and you turn it into a super fun site, and then it becomes a mall or something. Or a school, or, something great like that. And then here...
Land is poisoned for 10,000 years. Let's put a school here.
And then, here to the south, we have Grumpeton. I named a suburb after you, Grumpy.
Excellent. As there should be.
As there should be. I don't know what this suburb's going to do long term, except eventually grow. Like right now, this is the city boundary, but eventually this could stretch out around this hill. And there's actually enough lower lying land, at least on this side, that I may or may not actually climb the hill. Although, probably.
Nice little river right there.
Yeah, I really kind of like this map. This map is pretty. Having been watching City Skylines 2 videos a lot lately, I'm starting to really feel the limitations of the graphics in this engine, but it still has its days, and it's still pretty to look at. And if I turn off the terrain, which is a little distracting,
it will be very interesting to see the user-created maps in 2.
Yeah, no, I'm looking very forward to seeing what people can do with the tools we're getting. Well, assuming we get the tools, and that's something we haven't been told yet, is if we're getting really good modding tools and mapping and asset creation tools. But we all hope that happens, right? Because then, that'll be cool, right?
Paradox has traditionally been pretty good about that.
Paradox has always been awesome about it. Paradox recognizes very much so that the longevity of their games depends heavily on a community. And so they have definitely been working to grow that community with all of their games wherever possible, and that includes allowing for creators, which is very important to their business model. So now that I've shown you a little bit about what I've done, oh, and I've got another little suburb up here called Skylines, named after our favorite future Undertaker over on the Discord, Skya. And yeah, so I've started figuring out where I'm building next. I'm gonna jump out real quick to the world view here. So I've got this whole section here, which has got a bunch of flat land next to a railroad, which could be very useful. Because I've sort of run out of the easy build land certainly in my original square, which was here, and then my other two. There's some, like, Tigerton up here hasn't been fleshed out yet and could be. And a little more could be done over here. And I could buy this tile. In fact, I'm going to buy this tile right now. And that gives us some room to grow. And I've got a whole bunch of residential demand and moderate in the other demands. So I'm gonna start doing some stuff. Probably starting over here in Skylines. So I think I'm actually going to start building now. If you're on either of the Twitch or the YouTube streams and you have questions, I am trying to watch the chat. It's a little tricky to watch everything, but I'm trying to. So if you have questions, please go ahead and ask. If you have suggestions, go ahead and make suggestions. If you have questions about City Skylines 2, which is coming out in 9 long days, I have not gotten a chance to play it in early access because I'm simply not that cool. But I have been watching a lot of the people who have. So I have a bunch of information in my head about how that's going to, what it looks like and how that's going to play out. Anyway, let me start actually doing some building over here. Let me move on to my next suburb.
I also have been watching City Skylines 2 videos. So again,
yeah,
neither Mikey or I know anything in particular.
I mean, we know what's been published.
Right.
So we can talk about what's been published, and that's a lot at this point, right? Because the game is 9 days away, and there's been a lot of hype. But like, whether any particular bug has been fixed already, or what mods are going to look like, or things like that, we just don't know yet because nobody's said. So there we go. We've got a start on that, and this is going to be some more suburbs over here, basically. So it's a little cramped, but it's also, you know, very close to the river, and I figure some people might enjoy that. So let's see how we want to zone this. Start here, because that's... Oops.
Wow, you do have a lot of mods. Zoning setback.
Yeah, I've got the zoning adjuster, which isn't as necessary as it used to be, because you can now choose, in the current version of the game, you can actually choose in-game which side you're going to zone on, but it's not as flexible as the zoning adjuster, because with the zoning adjuster I can actually just click on a road. Well, let me get out of road building and turn the zoning adjuster on again. It keeps... Why are you moving around? You know... Sometimes. Let's put it up here. Zoning adjuster. There we go. So now... Turn it off. There we go. If I select a road segment and I right-click, then all of the zoning goes away entirely right now. If I click on it, left-click on it, the zoning comes back. And then, in theory, I can decide different sides, but usually if I use it at all, it's to turn zoning off entirely. For example, here on the collector, if I wanted this to be more of an arterial than a collector, helps if fingers were on the right keys. If I wanted that to be an arterial rather than a collector, I could turn zoning off on it entirely so that I never even accidentally zoned on it. What I'm actually probably going to do is zone some commercial on it, but carefully. Like, I'm not going to spam it with commercial zoning, I'm going to put a little bit of commercial zoning and then space it out, because otherwise it can get, you're basically asking for a lot of traffic if you have a lot of commercial loading directly onto a collector like that. On the other hand, most small American downtowns, that's exactly what they look like, right? You basically have a collector, which is probably a state or a U.S. highway, that is arterial outside of town, but in town is basically a street. There's actually a technical term for that, the portmanteau called a strode, meaning it is both a street and, both a street and a road. And it honestly, that sounds like something someone just made up randomly, but apparently that is the actual technical term for it. So I'm building out some cross streets here, and I'm trying not to do too many of them, because of course we don't want this to get all jammy. And let's see. And eventually I'm going to put a railroad station over here. Possibly a cargo terminal, which will help with internal cargo traffic. Like at that point, there'll be fewer trucks from the industrial zone to bring to the commercial parcels.
You're obligated to mention at this point that in City Skylines 2, the terminals will be much larger than they are in City Skyline.
Right. Like here, if I want to add a train station, let's see, right? That's metro, that's tram, that's train. If I want to add a simple elevated train station here, that's the size of it. And it's not exactly small, but it's not huge, right? That's not tremendous. But it's going to be like 4 times that big. And you have to put down a rail yard in City Skylines too. And the rail yard is also huge. And I'm good with that, except I wish it would start small and then grow. Like I'm okay with the idea that you have to allocate a large quantity of land for it. But, if you're starting with a small town, you might have a small rail yard. And then as it grows to be more Chicago-like, then you'd need a bigger rail yard.
Yeah.
Even Chicago did not start out with 1 billion rails overnight. Although it surely sometimes seems like it if you've ever been to Chicago. So let's see. What else do I want to do here? Let's put in a few cross streets. Let's try to keep that. It's going to be a little weird, but I think it's okay. Let's redo that. Do this one instead. And that's okay if that's a fairly large block. And that's a little close to the tracks, but I think that's going to be okay.
Bad spot for a train derailment.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it's been a while since I've paid any attention to railroad tracks in upstate New York, obviously. But around here, obviously in the city, a lot of the tracks were here possibly before there were streets. And then, like, there's a major freight and Amtrak line that runs down the Mississippi. And it's literally right behind people's houses. Because there's a bunch of people who have houses right on the shore, on the banks of the Mississippi, because they love getting flooded or something. I don't know. I'm sure it makes sense to them.
They love views.
The views are spectacular. It's why I take US 61. I will frequently drive when I'm coming back from points east. I will take I-90 through La Crosse and then come up US 61. For exactly that reason. The views of the river are spectacular. Putting my plumbing, as city planner Phil likes to say, right under the road, right where they belong. In City Skylines 2, you're going to get that for free on anything but a highway, which I'm really looking forward to not having to place it anymore. I do have a mod in place that means that I do not have to place power lines pretty much at all. Every now and then I have to bridge a gap, but every road, including highways, has.
Which at first I wasn't too fond of. I was like, I like placing pipes, but it's growing on me.
Yeah,
So.
and you're still gonna have to, like, if you do need to bridge a highway, like if I did this long bridge here as a highway bridge, then I would have to put pipes in explicitly in City Skylines 2. I would have to bridge the power myself. So you're not completely off the hook in City Skylines 2. It's easier. Let me check what the district boundaries are. I'm going to spread those out. I'm going to make this a larger suburb than originally I thought it was going to be. And then I don't have to think about what I had for district policies because I can just use what I already had. It's probably fine. I'm sure it's all fine. Actually, I am going to look. I don't remember. Got recycling. For styles, I don't have anything in. Oh no, I'm doing the France and Belgium, and basically a bunch of styles I put together myself based on assets I have, and I don't actually know how well they work. I've got one here I created myself called Shorter Stuff, where I used the tools that allow me to build this stuff to basically look for everything that was short, because especially with the Korea mod or the Korea DLC. Some of those buildings are inappropriately tall for how they're classed. They're classed as low density, but they're very tall. So I wanted to exclude anything that was too high. I'm also using the realistic population mod, which plays a little more like City Skylines 2 is going to play, which is one of the reasons I did it, even though I don't always love its mechanics, or at least it took me a while to get used to them. Because in the early game especially, you wind up needing to practically spam housing. Because you only have low density, and low density is only single family. Maybe I will not. Maybe I'll do this a little more carefully. I'll do smaller houses, and we won't go right up to the railroad track. And I'll put a little corner store commercial in here instead. I don't particularly try to play the same kind of game that Biffa plays or that Diana plays or any of the other YouTubers that I watch play. But I do take tips for them, and one of those tips tends to be, it's not necessarily... It is realistic to have housing fairly close to a railroad track. When I took the Caltrain last week in the Bay Area, the station that I got on in Sunnyvale, there was a big fence, and right behind the fence were people's houses. So that's a thing that definitely happens. But, like, literally having the tracks in your backyard with no separation, that seems a little unlikely. So I'm not gonna try to do that here.
A couple of years ago, I went from Rochester to New York City by rail.
Yeah.
Which is probably the best way to get to New York City from Rochester, in all honesty.
Yes, I agree entirely. I mean, it's not a fast trip, but it's an easy trip.
But on the part of the rail that is basically parallel to the thruway, each and every train station was in a neighborhood that I would not want to go into. Including Rochester's, to be honest.
Yeah.
Once you got going down the Hudson, the train stations were generally in, I guess you could say, revitalized areas.
Yeah.
But like along the thruway, it was all industrial and falling down buildings, and yeah, it's just like, this is not my stop.
Yeah, there's a reason people talk about being on the wrong side of the tracks, and sometimes it's
Absolutely.
not so much what side of the tracks you're literally on as how close you are to the tracks. So I've got the land value on here because I was trying to figure out why I wasn't immediately getting housing through here, and deciding whether I wanted to put like some parkland down or something. I am going to do that in a minute, but we are getting housing starting to spawn, which all by itself will start to bring land value. At least that's true in City Skylines 1, and this is like for the like 3 of you that are actually tuned in on streaming right now. City Skylines 2, we're going to be doing a bunch of comparing against what we know about City Skylines 2 with what we're seeing here. Because we've seen a lot now and we know what a lot of the differences are. And one of them is that land value is going to play a huge role in housing. And it's not necessarily the role you'd expect. There's sort of a mechanic where, except for a particular type of apartment building, the low density is actually mainly going to be for low land value. And as soon as the land value is higher, it's going to drive the density up. And we are starting to see some of that mechanic in the United States, but a lot of the United States is like, the land value is high because there's mansions on it. Oh, is it raining? It's raining in my game. I only just noticed that. It was like, I thought I turned film grain off. Why am I getting grainy? Oh no, it's raining.
And then in a lot of the preview videos for 2, a lot of the complaints from people are like, well, my home is suddenly too expensive.
Right, you know? Rent is too high, that kind of thing. And so at that point, you either need to give them cheaper places to move to, or zone the density upward. All right, I am going to place a couple of parks before I start zoning the commercial. And the parks are going to go on the stroke. Even though I don't have a dog and have never had a dog, I agree with City Planner Phil that dog park is always a winner. No planning councils are going to say no to a dog park.
I mean, you can build a cat park, but I don't know what it would be like.
Yeah, I don't know either. Cat park seems like it probably would not work out very well, particularly for any birds that happen to land nearby. Let's see. I don't have any park over here either, do I? Small playground. Probably we don't want the small playground right at the highest point of traffic between these 2 sections, do we? Let's see if we can find a better place for them.
Let's kill them kids.
Not fantastic. They could use some kind of park over here, but I think we're going to wait until I buy past the border to make room for it. You're crunching on Mike. Crunch,
oh, sorry.
Crunch. It's all right. I already had breakfast. I'm not hungry. All right. So that... Curious about... I don't always play to the land value, but I am curious. And again, the new game's got me thinking more about land value, because it is going to be much more of a mechanic in the new game in terms of what you can actually build where. All right, so that's good. And I'm going to build a little bit of housing on these spurs. They're not really going to quite be facing the river, but they're all going to have access to the river. And I don't necessarily want to leave that just to commercial. I can build a little commercial zone near the river too. But I'm not really building like a boardwalk or anything here, so that feels a bit like a waste. So we're going to keep the commercial straight, I think.
Rich people do like their waterfront property.
People do like waterfront property, even though, you know, I'm nowhere near a river and I still got water in my basement last week.
My lottery dream house in Rochester area, you know, if I won the lotto, used to be up on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And then it flooded and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change my dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of those on the river or just off the river, taking US 61, very much the same. Like there's some very nice houses there. I don't know how close to the river
It's
I really want.
fascinating when the properties along the lake flood, because suddenly Rochester and the communities along the St. Lawrence go to war.
Yeah.
Because, you know, flooding in Rochester depends on how much they're letting out
Oh
of
yeah.
the outlet.
Yep.
Let more of the outlet, but then we flood downstream. Well, you're flooding upstream. Well, can't flood someone, apparently.
How's the lighting on the streamed video, by the way? It looks pretty good.
In the what I would call the west, the left side of the screen, the roads are very shiny.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that too. They're wet. The roads are wet, so
Ah,
they're getting sun reflection.
ah.
Yeah, I actually I did a brief test yesterday. I didn't actually send the stream out, but I had Streamlabs up to look at it while I was running the game, and I realized that if I have anything relating to depth of field turned on, it really screws up the streamed video. And we discovered last time that if I've got HDR turned on, it screws up the streamed video. So this is
The
pretty
roads are
basic.
shiny, but the traffic is flowing. I mean,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Everything seems to be moving, which is good. The new suburb is fleshing out. Got some commercial coming in. Demand is still high, which is not a surprise. Also, I'm getting complaints about one of my bus lines. Yep. Yep. Because I did put in bus lines between the last time I streamed and today.
Wait, bored? Like people are bored waiting for buses? Is that
Yeah,
what
and
that's about?
that mechanic's not actually new. It's just I've got mods in here that exposes it.
Oh,
And it's part of the bus mechanic is if they get bored, they'll take out their pocket cars, which of course in this game everyone's got a car they can put in their pockets, which is ridiculous, but it's true. And just get in the car, which is not what we want. So let me
right.
see. I thought I'd told it that I want everything here to be a double decker, but it looks like for some reason it is. Let me see. Models not allowed on each line. Oh, I see. I think I see. Let me do that. Hopefully it only removes them from this list. Doesn't do anything at all. Okay. So wanna up the capacity without upping the number of buses. And the mod I'm using here.
That was a shiny bus.
Here we go. Use specific config in this line. And use the double deckers. Let's see if that does it. I hope that does it, because yes, that looks like they're all 60s. Good. So hopefully that will handle the traffic. Because like most of these are not full up. But there must have been one particularly busy bus stop that was not getting served. Yeah, like this one's getting 70, 75, 80. This one's clearly a very busy stop. Which makes sense, because this is also where the density is.
Right.
So, like, eventually this is going to be prime place to consider a tram or a metro, and not just a bus.
Yep.
But for now, it looks, now that I've bumped the buses up to 60s, I think the buses are handling it. Let me check the other line, which is the counterclockwise line, basically.
I'm more of a metro guy, but then again, I've never really had experience with trams, so.
You know, metros are nice and easy, of course, because they're underground.
Right.
But I like the look of trams. I really do like the look of trams.
Well, were
There
you
we
the one
go.
telling me that a lot of cities don't even consider them separate services? Like,
it depends. Like, tram is actually a sort of a very overloaded term, because like some trams are just like a single streetcar or maybe two
right.
streetcars at grade. And others essentially are the same exact rolling stock as a metro system. Like San Francisco, the Muni can run at grade, and a lot of people, I think, coming in from another place would call that a tram, or call the Minneapolis light rail system a tram. But we don't call it that here. We don't think of that as a tram line.
Hmm.
And for whatever reason, the game, both this game and the new game, choose to think of them as separate kinds of light rail.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people have commented on. They'd love to be able to see interoperability between between the two. Now, I think you are going to be allowed to have at grade but not elevated metro in the new game, or subway they're calling it.
You
But
can elevate the metro, but they won't have elevated stations.
they won't have elevated stations, but they will have at grade stations.
Right.
And I think that's okay.
And depending on how the modding situation works out, this all
Right.
depends on modding anyway.
Well, and
because-
I you know, they're going to have elevated as soon as they get around to it. Like, this is one of those areas where I know as a developer, I know that people have to pick and choose, right? I'm entirely aware of that. I'm painfully aware of the need to pick and choose what one actually does.
Well, it's the same way lots of people are like, where are the bike lanes? And it's just like,
Yep.
they're coming. We just prioritize something else.
Right. All right, so we're starting to fill in. We already have someone dead here, and nobody even lives here yet. That's fascinating. Oh, okay.
Construction worker.
We have a dead person at the dog park. And
that's just bad timing.
You know, that doesn't actually surprise me, because I know we've got a cemetery somewhere in town, but I don't actually remember where it is. Where are you, cemetery? There it is. All the way over here. Actually, that's a crematorium all the way over there, I think.
There's a loyal dog standing next to a corpse.
There's a cemetery. But I'm going to go ahead and put down a crematorium memorial park in Skylines. We'll put that on the commercial. We'll put that on this road. That should improve the death care problem. And then just to make sure they don't go crazy. Oh, I don't have it. I thought I had it. So there's a mod. Oh, no, I know what it is. I'm looking at the wrong thing. There it is. I'm using a mod called Transfer Manager. This is something else City Skylines 2 is going to give us for free. Where I can tell it, you know what? Only operate in your district and the other districts that I choose. And right now I'm going to tell it only to operate in Skylines. So it is not going to send curses all the way over here just because there might be a need. And then, you know, if I start seeing a lot of death over here, I will build services over here for those needs.
Nope, Grumptown is just full of corpses.
I mean, eventually we'll probably get a death wave. Although the realistic population mod, I think, tries to spread aging out so you don't get death waves the same way. But
and that is another thing I think City Skylines 2 is working on, is making sure the death waves don't happen.
Yeah, no, definitely, because death waves are problematic. Got a little cargo station over here. I forgot that I put that in. I don't think I put that in last time I streamed. Yeah.
That whole area along the highway and that swamp was an amazing build. Like,
thanks.
Really good job.
Yeah, no, like, if I learned anything from both actually paying attention to highways and watching all the other streamers, it's sometimes you got to do some weird things to try to wedge a highway interchange in, and it's not always going to be amazing or pretty, but it can be made to work. And like, I could see other ways I could do this, but they all would have taken up more space than I wanted them to. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Thank you. Well, let's see, what else? Go back over to Skyet and over here and see how it's building. Because, I mean, look at these demands. The residential demand is still huge. Which, again, because of the realistic population mod, I'm not entirely surprised by, but it's humongous and voracious and mendacious and polyglottal.
Everyone wants to live in the last city because
Everyone
the
wants
rest
to
of
live
the
in the
world,
last city because they know it's the last.
the rest of the world has been nuked, and it's the last city.
Very sad.
Wow, went a little dark on my fiction there. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Well, you know, when I named it the last city, I kind of knew that that was going to be a. Here gives us one more block. We can put some residential in. Plumbing loop here. Oop.
Don't forget to
Don't
make
wanna
the
do-
Sky district go out there too.
Oh yeah, good point. Thank you. Oh no, it already does. Good, but thank you for reminding
Does
me
it?
to check. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it does.
Yep. Thank you for reminding me to check that. Oh, you know what? This is off this road. We can do residential all the way around this corner. And do some smaller plots, side roads, and then this may eventually be commercial. Now
It's interesting that. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say it's interesting that in City Skylines 2, if you're using the row housing, you have to be very careful of how you you zone it.
Yeah, I really hope they add some tools for being able to be choosy when you're at a street corner which way the zone is going to go. Without having to do weird things. So this is a little weird, because the zoning I put along here, nobody's living there yet.
Is there water down there?
There's water lines. Oh, not all the way down.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Is there electricity down there?
There should be because there's roads. Again, I've
Oh, because the road carries electricity.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Is it too expensive for people?
It may be that there's not currently any demand for the land value. The land value may actually be higher than anyone wants to deal with yet. I don't know. I don't know how much that mechanic actually has ever figured in to City Skylines 1. I do know that unless the residential demand is super high, if you've got an area where the land value is dead white, is just no land value whatsoever, sometimes you got to put down a park or something just to draw them in. They wouldn't show up. Let's see. I think that's all I'm going to do over here because I want to keep this low density. I want to keep it low density, but we also definitely have demand, so I'm going to have to find somewhere else to start fulfilling some of that residential demand. And I'm hearing boredom complaints again. I thought it fixed that. Passenger waiting. 68. Oh, wow. 226 at that parking lot. That's a lot. It's more than 60 is going to let us raise the budget a little bit. We'll add a few more vehicles. See if that handles it. I don't want to, if you add too many vehicles, of course, then you start having a traffic problem.
Right. One of the things I really like, I don't know if they eventually added it to City Skylines. I haven't played City Skylines the last couple of DLCs, but the bus only roads for City Skylines 2 look like they'll be useful.
Yeah, and
The,
there are bus lane roads, and technically there are bus only roads, but I don't feel like I've got enough else here.
And the fact you can route buses to certain roads without a stop is useful too.
So I'm trying to decide, like, I have deliberately not zoned this area and developed it. You can't necessarily see where I'm pointing yet, but there's this sort of blank zone up here by to the northeast of village of Alidra.
Yeah.
Where I was thinking I would eventually add another highway interchange when I buy this parcel to the east. And so I'm keeping it fallow right now. And at the same time, right now, when I need places to put people, I'm looking at it and I'm like, that's a lot of land that I'm not actually using yet. But I think I am going to bypass it, and instead I'm going to see what I can do to build out Tigerton over here.
Yeah, Tigerton's got more. Yeah.
I've got some space over here. Let me slow the game down. I'm not going to actually pause it, I think. Let me slow it down. Let me think about what I want this to look like. Because this has got this little drainage pond over here.
Yeah, I'd probably make the pond the feature.
That's exactly it. I'm not going to do a straight grid here. I'm going to sort of build a little bit of loopiness around the pond.
Something Mikey does involving loopiness?
Right? I know. No, who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk that I'd do anything remotely loopy?
Madness!
Ever.
Okay, the way that curve was originally, I was gonna be like, no one's gonna speed along that curve.
Right. And that's also fine with me, but let's try to preserve that greenery too, at least for now. Bring that in here. Here we go. That's not too bad. That's a good start. Having grown up in a community that was ranged around a lake, that start actually makes pretty good sense to me.
I too grew up in a community that was around a lake.
Yeah, your lake was a little bigger though.
My lake was a little bigger than most, yeah.
Yeah. I grew up around the White Meadow Lake was an artificial lake. It had originally actually been White's Meadow, and then they dammed it, and it became White Meadow Lake. Actually works out better than I expected.
That looks really good.
Plan comes together. Let's see. I think I've got enough room for one more tier, basically. Won't be able to come all the way around, but it'll be able to come around to like here.
Yep, I agree.
If you're just joining the stream, as I see a couple people have, over on Twitch at least, I'm Uncle Mikey. I'm playing City Skylines. Say hello in the chat. I'm trying to watch the chat. I'm not always good at it, but I'm trying. I've got my friend JC on via Discord. Kibitzing
I am
with
also
me.
trying to keep an eye on the chat, just in case.
Thank you very much.
Not much has happened on the chat.
This is, for the record, City Skylines 1, because I am not nearly cool enough to have early access to City Skylines 2. And if I did, the embargo hasn't been lifted yet, so I couldn't stream it.
I was watching a video the other day about a guy who he had a couple thousand subscribers, or maybe more. I don't remember. He was like, "I think I'm the biggest City Skylines streamer who didn't get access to City Skylines 2." And I'm like, "Well, I guess technically someone has to be, right?" Like,
right. Yeah, and like obviously I have no insight into what their criteria was, because like I haven't streamed anything since 2021. When I was still doing Dragon Age streams during the depth of the pandemic. So, anytime anyone actually joins a stream, I'm like, yay, people are watching. Hi. It's exciting. But, so I have zero insight into what what Paradox considered to be the kind of content creators they wanted, streaming their content. I know that they did one, like there was a gaming show in Munich, I want to say.
Yeah, Germany somewhere.
Yeah, and they let a bunch of people stream who weren't necessarily Cities Skylines people at all, and they did it like 50.
Yeah, from the top of a crane.
Yeah, from the top of a crane. And apparently they do this with some game every year. Like, this is not new. And it's basically a gimmick. And the thing that they didn't do was find out who was scared of heights. And so for like the half of these streams, the people are like, yeah, I want to concentrate on the game, but I'm afraid that we're going to plummet to our deaths here. And I'm just here thinking, y'all really should have thought about who you were bringing in maybe a little earlier.
To be fair to those people, I also am scared of heights, so I would also not have been good on that.
And I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm not always a huge fan of heights, but I don't think I would have had a problem. But I don't know, and of course. That's not something I do for a living. I am not a gamer streamer for a living, so I have no way of knowing whether I ever would have been, whether that would have been good for me or not. Anyway, let's do a bit of zoning here around Tigerton. Fulfill some of our residential demand.
What is the current zone border of Tigerton?
Oh, good point. Thank you. It is big enough. I thought I made it big enough. Let's make sure we're covering.
Yep.
Coastline. I am so looking forward to the shape-based district tools instead of the paint-based.
I didn't think I would be that impressed by it, but I have been very impressed by it in the
videos. Yeah.
In the videos, I was like, painting works fine, and it does.
It does work okay, but it can be very messy. I'm going to put a little corner stores in here. People like shops. Let's watch that grow. What else do we need over here? We probably need a park over here before I finish zoning in everything.
People are moving in.
People are moving in. Oh, I didn't leave a lot of room for parks of any real size, did I? Dog parks always fit. Everybody loves a dog park.
Well, that park should fit, whatever that is.
Yeah, this is a dog park, I think.
Oh, the dog park.
Yes,
okay.
dog park. Dog park is a nice size. That's the other reason why I think dog parks get used a lot. They fit very easily in some of the more tighter spaces.
Is that a bounce house?
There is, in fact. Oh, you know what? Why not? I'll put a bounce house in.
That can't take up much room. Yeah. Okay. Actually, more room than I'd expect, but.
I mean, the proportions of all the lots in this game are a little odd, right? Like, it's one of the things I'm enjoying about the idea of the new game is they've really.
Well, it's a little bit more than a bounce house.
It's a little park. It's got a little playground. It's got a couple of It's got a couple of chirper mascots running around scaring the children.
Those are chirper. I was like, are those axolotls? I was like, what are those supposed to be?
They're chirpers.
Okay.
I've got chirper hidden, by the way. I've got a mod that shuts chirper up. Because I find chirper annoying.
Which is apparently going to be a bad idea in Skylines.
Yeah, no, I will learn to survive with chirper in the new game, but Samira says 150 feet in the air. Potato McWhiskey stream. Yes, I watched that one too. They offered to have a staffer to them if they wanted. Potato did not take them up on it. Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, by the end of Potato McWhiskey's stream, he was actually fine. Like, he eventually got over it. And a couple of the other streamers I saw eventually got sufficiently engrossed in the game, even though they only had like an hour to play it. And it was like August. It was, so, compared to the betas that are getting played by the content creators now, especially the one that was released last week where they finally released the 4K textures. They were playing a fairly buggy version of the game, and they were still getting into it, even though they were not all necessarily regular Cities players. So apparently we are in that state where zoning some residential merely wants them want more residential, so we're gonna put some more lake houses over here.
Buggy versions of the game, like wanting Energ.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. More Energ.
An inside joke, because we were playing Star Trek Infinite yesterday, and there was a sentence that was supposed to be energy, and they forgot the Y. So.
And that's what you get for not doing QA.
Yeah, some proofreaders would have helped.
I'm going to put a tiny little something there. I have no idea what's going to grow there. Apparently in the new game, you cannot have a viable 1-by-1 zone. Which
really?
makes sense. Which makes sense given the way they've reproportioned things. But
yeah, put a newspaper stand in there though, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something. I don't remember whose video I was watching yesterday. They were maybe it was Diana. Was basically she laid out like here's what I like, here's what I don't like, and here's a block where I've done a bunch of different zoning combinations. And apparently 1x2 is the smallest you can do.
1x2, deep 2 or wide 2, or it doesn't matter.
I think either way. I think deep 2 actually, because like the row houses I think are all only 1 wide.
They're 1x4, I think, or something.
But,
or 1x6.
But they have to be at least 2 deep.
Okay.
And I think that's actually realistic. But you see, like I don't even know what it put here. Oh,
What's
because
a Shake Shack.
Yeah, it's a little, and it's from the Africa pack. I must have that available here, because I occasionally like to just make my zones kind of eclectic and not worry too much if they're consistent. Consistency is the bugbear of small minds or something like that. I don't know. Yep. Wow, there's still a huge amount of residential demand. People want to live here, and that's good. People want to live in my city.
It's May and it's 80 degrees.
Yeah, let's give them some more places.
June. Oh no, it's February. I forgot that you do the dates the non-American way. Okay, it's February and it's 80 degrees. Nice place.
Yeah, this is definitely not a Minneapolis map here.
Oh God, the temperature's falling. Oh God, if these trends continue.
I mean, this is the last city. It is the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. Haven't nuked anything yet. Being the operative term. If you're just joining the stream, I see another person may have joined over on Twitch. Say hello if you would like to. Welcome aboard. We're streaming some Cities Skylines 1 over here. I don't have any easy way to know who is actually joining me at the moment, because I'm not that smart. Like there's smart ways to do this, and I don't know all the smart ways to do it because I don't stream often enough. At some point, I'll learn the tools better because I'm going to do more of this with Cities Skylines 2. But right now, I'm still. It's always weird to be a newbie at something. I've been an expert at so many things. I'm a newbie at streaming in so many ways still. Well, we'll make all 3 of those commercials.
That's also a reason I don't think I do it, is because I'm one of those many people that, acknowledges you have to be bad at something before you're good at something, but doesn't like being bad at things.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Totally get it. I had a moment this morning where I was like, should I call this off? Do I really want to do this? And then I'm like, yes, I do actually want to do this. Even if, not a huge number of people show up to watch, I do want to do this. Here we are doing the thing.
It was about time for me to leave Jen this morning anyway, but I was definitely like, yeah, I'm going to get home by 3, okay, hon? And she was like, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you can always blame me. It's clearly my fault.
Oh, no,
Hey,
she knew what I was doing.
it looks like we finally absorbed some of the resident. I mean, it's growing back already, but we may have absorbed some of the residential demand for once. So
Wow.
now I got to look for some places to put a little more commercial demand, which will almost certainly immediately generate more residential demand, because that's the way the game loop works. Let's put nothing there. So this whole little street looks like not a bad place.
Those are also dirt roads. I don't know if you want to upgrade them or not.
I might eventually. They're dirt roads up through the hills. I've got some of them upgraded, but it's mainly the ones that were carrying a lot of traffic. And
Okay.
I don't necessarily want the people from over here using this as a shortcut.
Fair enough.
So I'm keeping it slower. And I know in City Skylines 1 that doesn't always actually work.
Yeah.
To keep people from using a road, but I'm trying. And that's like I'd rather them use this thoroughfare here, which yes, it goes all the way up the mountain and comes back down, but it's a little more of a straight line, and it's a little more of what I've laid out as the traffic route.
And that's what 2 has the gated community function for.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to playing with that too, because what I'd love to be able to do is say, okay, this line here goes between and isn't necessarily part of East Hillside, West Hillside, or the Nipple, and then everything around it are gated communities or something, so you can't just drive through, or have speed bumps on the roads, so you're not encouraged to use them for commuting.
Right.
And wow, this is what I mean about playing with a realistic population mod, and I don't know if this mechanic's going to be true in City Skylines 2 as well, but the bounce back in demand.
I do know that in the City Skylines 2, I don't know what you'd call it, the official Let's Play stuff with Pretty and
Maddie.
Yeah. They had some all-consuming, low-density.
Yeah, no, I've definitely seen it. In the streams, and
but your ore area might be out of ore. I thought I saw.
I haven't paid any attention. Yeah. Bad. Yeah, a couple of these are drained. All right, let's have a look at our natural resource map. And yeah, these are no longer actually viable places for mine. And we will place new ones. Let's get some streets in place so they have somewhere to be. Oh, I gotta tell you, one of the other things I am really looking forward to is not having to place the road ahead of time, even if a building needs a road.
Yes.
Being able to place the building and then run a road to it, for something like this is like, yeah, really, it's really frustrating sometimes wanting to, having to place a road first when you know what you need to get at.
Yep.
And I'm never sure what 6,400. 8,000. Okay, we'll go with that. It looks like it's only going to get about 4,000 units anywhere near here. I thought I saw something denser. Maybe it's just because we're not leveled up, because that's... here. Except I don't want it on the highways. We're going to put it here. We'll put one of these over here like we originally planned. And that should make up for the lost production of the area we just vacated. We'll eventually redevelop this to be something else. What are we doing in general here? We need a lot more workers if we're going to level up.
Well, that's why you have so much residential demand, probably.
That's part of it, yeah. Because we clearly have a need for more workers, a lot more workers over here. We're also still importing a lot of ore. We're not actually producing a lot of ore. At least some of that is because our mines actually, ran out and we weren't paying attention. So let's place another here. There. What that does to improve. Still need more. Yeah, we definitely need more inhabitants nearby.
Oh, Tigerton should help with that. Is there a
Tigerton
connection
will
from
help,
Tigerton
although
over
there isn't a good. You're right, there isn't a good, but there's a nice way to make one. Let's do that. Let's go with the small 4-lane road. And I'm going to. You know what? I'm going to leave it. I was gonna get out the network multi-tool and have it look at the slopes, but I think I'm going to leave it alone for now.
Fine. It's a thrilling road.
It's a thrilling road.
On your commute in, it gives you a.
I am curious. You know what? I am going to get at the multi-tool, the network multi-tool, just because I want to see what the slope is, what the current grade is. So let's go to sets. Let's see what our grade is here. Oof, it's a 20% grade. And from here to here, yeah, that's 30,000 pounds of bananas territory, isn't it?
Well, that's why the ore trucks are. Oh, they are coming that way. Whoops.
Yeah.
Or whatever that truck that is. I don't know.
It's well, you won't even let me set another different slope there. I'm a little afraid of how this is going to cut into the mountain. Let's try it. Yeah, that's. There we go. Now it's only a 9% slope all the way through. It's only slightly horrible.
I actually kind of like how it cut through the mountain like this. That looked good.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's not unreal. I don't think it's unrealistic.
Falling rock zone, but yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Is like a lot of people I see. A lot of the cities tubers that I watch, either they just don't like the idea and they wish that it didn't happen in real life, or they've never lived somewhere where that happens in real life. But you come from the Northeast, you see it all the time, where someone actually just blasted through because going around was much too much work.
The best way through was directly through.
Right. Sometimes it's all you've got. Let's see, what's our complaint here? Not enough natural resources. Are we still not really generating enough ore? This is the problem with the ore mechanic. I don't ever feel like there's enough. Well, we're no longer importing. Maybe we're okay. Maybe the real problem is just that we still don't have enough workers actually making it all happen.
The real ore is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something I don't usually do, but I want to see how it works out. I'm gonna redevelop this area that used to be mining by building a company town on it. That's how I'm going to fulfill some of the worker requirement.
What's the pollution like there, though?
It's probably terrible.
If you want to work in the mines, you can breathe the mines 24/7.
That's right.
You lug 16 tons.
I started thinking the same thing. 16 tons started going through my head. I owe my soul to the company store. That's absolutely the case for these poor schmucks. Let's give them a company store. There it is, the company store right here.
Remember, never let anyone pay you in company script.
Put another little company store over here. Yeah. See, this is what I get for not putting a high-rise limit on it.
Well, there's some thin high rises.
Yeah, there's some weird assets that I've got in here, and I've never weeded them out, so I'm going to instead add my shorter stuff. And that should
Wait, it's a company town. Do either steampunk or cyberpunk.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. Also, apparently, I don't have enough water for these. Or,
Oh, well,
yeah,
water.
Water.
Losers.
Anyone can have water.
Wait, oh, okay, that one house doesn't have water.
Yeah, well, they're whining about it.
Weaklings.
Right? All right. We were going to chip before it all builds out. It's probably too late.
Back in my day,
Back in my day, we dug our own wells. All right, let's get rid of. No, we'll leave shorter stuff in. No, let's get rid of shorter stuff, and let us do cyberpunk and steampunk and see if I actually have the assets in the build right now that are supposed to go with that. Find out in a minute when it starts dissolving the old, replacing them with new ones. That's a mechanic I am hoping they add to the base game, what I was just doing with District Styles. Like, they've got the basics of it in place. There's always been a way to sort of pick a theme, but you can only pick like one theme at a time, whereas I've got a mod here that lets me mix and match and create my own themes.
Yeah, they need also they need more themes before they worry about that.
Right. I mean, right now they've only got the EU and the NA, and actually, like, the latest builds have little maps, and you can tell if you pay close enough attention to the little maps, they're also highlighted for, this isn't all of the EU. This is this part of the EU. This is this part of the North America. Because they've recognized, I think, that they were being a little disingenuous.
EU is very general.
Yeah, and like, there's a lot of different styles of things in the United States alone, let alone United States and Canada. All right, we've used these guys up too. So, but you know what? If I bulldoze them, they lose their workers. It's the interesting thing is they actually keep having workers. And yes,
they keep digging futilely.
Yeah, and since the district itself still needs like 60 more workers, I'm going to leave those alone. The union won't let us shut it down. Yes, the union will not let us shut that mine down.
Continue digging. Carrick Nor is not in any sort of distress.
There's nothing wrong here. Just keep doing your work.
Do not be alarmed. Continue swimming naked. Oh, come on. Continue. Yeah, I'll be very interested when Skylines 2 gets, just more appearances.
More stuff.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
Is a big one I'm looking forward to. I assume they're planning Chinatown because It just makes sense.
They have to. Like there's certain things they almost have to do. That they almost have to do a Chinatown. They almost have to do
I mean, they have a San Francisco map. They have to have a
they have to do a
Chinatown, right?
Chinatown, right? We need a Dragon Gate asset. I'm really hoping the San Francisco map actually has some assets with it. They haven't announced that. They've just announced
Apparently,
the map
the San
itself.
Francisco map starts with the Golden Gate. So.
Well, that's good. That's cool.
Yeah.
And if it includes, like, I guess if I remember the thumbnail right, it includes Marin County, which is the northern half of the peninsula that faces the San Francisco Peninsula. It's Marin County.
There was a job open there about a year ago that I was interested in. It was, a library directorship.
Yeah.
And it paid $190,000 a year or something like that. I was like, that was the highest pay I've ever seen for a library director.
And then you realize what you'd have to pay for rent.
And I talked to a couple of friends from the area. And I was like, is that livable? And they're like, nope.
No, it's really not.
Like, oh, shit. That's not great.
I mean, it would depend on what Jen would get paid, too. But,
well, sure. But I'm also not super interested at this point in my life in moving. But,
although Marin County is very pretty.
Yes, I mean, if I was gonna move somewhere,
yeah, it's that side of things is not as built up as everything from San Francisco south and immediately east, like the East Bay as well. Marin County is like there's obviously some cities up there like Sausalito and so on, but it's a little less built up, and it's very pretty. Well, I don't know if I told you. Of course, I was in California last week, and or now I guess it's 2 weeks ago. And the very last official thing we did for the work gathering that I was there for was a pizza party at the founder's house, which I got to tell you, I desperately envy them their view. I don't envy them their property taxes because they live in Berkeley, but they've got a view of the whole bay from their dining room. And yeah, really, really nice view. I could honestly believe that they bought the house for the view alone. Because it's stunning. All right, what would it take to get some of these to level up? I know it's a company town. Well, of course, the land value is crappy. There's pollution everywhere. Maybe, you know what? I don't have any services over here, do I? I don't even have a police department.
Yeah, company police station.
and like clearly there's not a lot of crime here, but there's also no coverage. So let's give them.
You know what the crime there is? Speaking out against the company.
That's right. Let's give them that. Let's give them
good old fashioned head thumpers over here.
Let's give them a fire department. That will make
everything. That is not good fire coverage.
Yeah, no. Tigerton really needs some fire department coverage too. Let's slap one over here. Do I have fire watchtowers yet? I do. Should put a couple of watchtowers out too. Although I don't think I have any helicopters to answer.
There's fire. Okay.
You know what? I'm not going to bother with the tower right now, but I'll think about it later. Let's see what else. So they've got fire. They've got police. They've actually got access to an elementary school. They don't have much access to high school, but I intended all these people to be minors, and I'm going to be mean and say you don't need more than an elementary education.
Don't you know how it works, kid?
I'm terrible.
I don't remember the lyrics, but isn't it something like I strode to the mine after being born or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I just realized I could actually build some residential here on the farm too. You know what? I've been paying all my attention to the.
Yeah, I was born farm one morning when the sun didn't shine. I picked up my shovel and walked to the mine. Yeah,
there you go. There you go. The farm also needs more workers. It's got plenty. We're producing plenty of food, but we're never going to level up unless we get more people actually working there. So let's see what we can do about creating a little more nearby residential. We're going to go back to our rural roads.
I mean, there's always the top of the nipple. I don't know how much you can dig in there.
I'm sort of deliberately leaving that. Like, I think I might eventually put a landmark up there or something. Suddenly picturing putting Cristo Redentor up there or something.
Cool.
Just for the sheer irony of me putting a statue of Christ anywhere. And we're going to do some eminent domain. I'll teach you to live there. And we probably need some pipes. Pipes. Been reluctant to build on this bend, partially because it's just so bendy, and partially to keep the speed up, because that's definitely sort of the major way out of all of this, and down to the farm and down to the ore. I haven't been paying attention to my population numbers to see what the overall numbers have been.
Your what?
The population numbers. I haven't been paying attention.
Oh. I was telling you, Mikey, but since there's people on the stream, I always play with on City Skylines. I play a mod. It's not realistic population. It's something else. I think it's called SimCity Fudged Statistics. Because the author was apparently not a fan of SimCity, or was a fan of SimCity and thought there was no problem with it.
Right.
It changes your population number from how many agents there are, which is what that population number really means, to how many people would actually live in a city this size.
Right.
And I always liked that. I was like, yeah, this is a city of 90,000 or whatever, you know. And
yeah. And that's sort of what the realistic pop mod is trying to do to some extent. But it also does it by saying, hey, if this is a single family house, the asset is flagged as a single family house, then it's really only going to have one household.
Right.
Whereas the base game without a mod will look at that and say, oh, you can fit 2 households in there.
Yeah. There could be 4 families there. Why not?
Why not? What could go wrong? Let's see, where else?
Which actually reminds me of the actual town I live in, since we have landlords that just stuff apartments into houses.
Yep. Let's see, what can we do that would be interesting for population growth without...
Unfortunately, I think you need another square.
I might need another square. I could... Let's see, where are my boundaries? You know what, let's zoom out again. I could go up the hill in Skyeton, but I'm trying to avoid building on the other side of the tracks.
I mean, you have this whole area that's undeveloped. Yeah, across from Skyeton.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I've got that whole square that I haven't done anything with yet. I just need to build a bridge, and I could start building that out, and even if it does go up into the hills on that side.
I mean, it does have bridges already. They're just going to go off the...
Over here.
Oh, no, it only has one bridge into...
Yeah. Yeah,
it doesn't connect to Skyeton. Okay.
That's right. There's no connect. Like, eventually I'm going to build the square north of Skyeton. Actually, I guess it's really going to be north of both of these 2. This one here. Currently being covered over by the clock. Let me well, I can't really shift it. Because that's a lot of flat coastline.
Yep.
Up that way. And so that is probably where I'm going to grow to next, as the easiest place to build out, like, I could build a dense coastal city there.
But I think you got to build in the hills of undesignated.
Yeah.
Right now.
Not least of which because I'm way off from the next milestone that will give me another square. Yeah, Colossal City requires me to get all the way up to a capital city is the next milestone, and that's 2,400. And somehow I'm actually losing population right now, which is not... That's weird, but whatever. Now it's coming back. But I think what I'm really going to have to do is come back to the old city, to Renesville and Village of Alidra, and start densing it up a little more. Because those are the areas that are really built for eventual density. And while I started on density there, I haven't really continued to do it. But before I do that, I need to take a break. So I'm going to do that. I'll be back.
Oh no, now I have to entertain them.
All right. Let us resume. Let's
That wasn't
see.
nearly as long a break as I thought. That's fine.
No, just needed a quick. I had to deal with biology. I am going to. What am I going to do?
Stupid biology.
I know. I'm going to shift the time of day. I'm not really running the clock right now. Clock's sort of fixed. Apparently, it doesn't want to let me do that. That's fascinating. That's new.
I do like that the new camera function in Skylines 2, which looks way more complicated than I'll probably ever use most of the
Right?
functions.
Yeah, it's something else, isn't it?
But it does allow you to change weather and time of day to get exactly the shot you want, which is an amazing feature.
Yeah.
Although apparently very easy to mess up too. I was watching someone, I don't remember which stream, and they were trying to take a picture and they slid the fog slider and suddenly there was like no picture because
I mean, I've been in San Francisco on those days. All right, so let's do some density over here. Look, I am your destiny. Imminent domain. Down a bunch of houses. And then we'll have to take a look at what that does to buses and traffic and all the rest of that.
Yep.
I kind of like so I'm not doing it as wall-to-wall housing, but because of the way I zoned it and the kind of buildings that it's choosing and the fact that I didn't allow it to go like I think I've got the no high-rises policy on.
Yeah.
We're still getting these lovely little squares that I really kind of like the look of. I don't know how realistic they are, especially when there's no paths through them.
And traffic isn't bad.
Actually, let me look over here. Maybe I don't have them. No, I don't have the high-rise ban on. There's just been no high-rises yet. What happens if I turn it on? Do I start losing buildings that think they're... Ah, yay! Colossal Ore has reached level 4. So we're finally getting some people there, too. Also, how did a great big hole wind up in the middle of Reneesville?
That's weird.
A hole in the middle of it all. There's a hole in the middle of it all.
It's just somebody living there who's like, I don't pay taxes.
That's right. Unincorporated Nowheresville. Let's see. Apparently medical is actually becoming a problem, and average citizen health is actually not good. Probably because elder care is lousy and child care is not great.
Wait, when did elder care become a thing?
One of the late DLCs
Okay.
added elder care and child care.
I don't necessarily object. I just
Yeah, the mechanic's not entirely great. It's not awful either, but the buildings are a little large, and so they're a little hard to sight. Which is a problem we're going to have to get used to, I guess, but because the new game's got a lot of larger buildings. But the new game's larger buildings also cover a larger area.
Right.
I'm going to give this area a clinic. That should help healthcare.
I do know my friend Mike, not you.
Yeah.
Is a little disappointed that the airport is an asset in Skylines 2.
I think eventually
likes-
we'll get an airport zone, a buildable airport again.
Yeah, he likes building his airport.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big aviation geek, so yeah.
I think the main counter argument I can make to that, though, is this isn't airport simulator, and it's not train simulator, and it's not industry simulator even. It's a general city builder.
Yep.
And so I could see why they would make certain choices.
Even if its roots are in transportation simulator.
Right. Yeah. I've got a couple assets here I've never used that are not base game assets. Apparently this cathedral is considered death care. How big is it?
Well, I mean, that makes
not very big.
some degree of sense.
It's not very big. Maybe I'm going to plunk a cathedral down somewhere. Let's put a cathedral. Well, that area's already got death care, though. Let's. The problem is a cathedral has no place in a suburb. Let's just put a crematorium over here somewhere.
Just some crazy person built a cathedral there. Why you build a cathedral here?
I mean, the European definition of a city, or the English definition of a city, rather than a borough, is does it have a cathedral?
Really?
I don't think that's still true, but in the Middle Ages, that was the distinction that was made. Is there a cathedral? We're going to put this over here. It'll get it's a lovely view of the river. There we go, and makes lots of people happy. So that helps the death care. What else do we need?
Oh, look at all those smiley faces.
Yeah, I think I do have some child care on the map. Yeah, I've got child care over here where things are dense. But I don't have a lot of other. Wait, no, I'm still not. There we go. Elder care, child care. No, I was right. I've got this one child care place over here, and then I didn't build anything else. So let me find another place in the.
I like how it says orphanages and then it says other things, and there's precisely one asset in it.
Yeah, they never really fleshed out the toolbar.
Because if you hover over it again.
Although actually, you know what it
center.
is. You know what it is. This is not actually the vanilla toolbar. This is a mod toolbar called Better Health Toolbar, and it's probably allowing for people who have defined other assets as orphanages, for example.
Okay. That's
so that makes a little more sense. Where else should we put childcare? Let's put childcare over here in the company town.
Yeah. Gotta take care of the kids while you're in the mines.
That's right. They won't let us put the kids in the mines, so we'll give them a place that can take care of the kids.
Stupid labor laws.
Right. What are they thinking? And then let's look at the old folks' homes. Do I have any of those placed? I thought I placed one, but maybe not.
Those don't go in the company town though, because
That's right.
You're too old. You leave. You die in the mine.
Do I? You know what? This is the Find It toolbar, and the nice thing about that is it can tell me if a given asset is being used anywhere, and sure enough, we have no elder care. So that would explain why old folks are dying a lot. Let's go ahead and put that over here. They even get a nice park nearby. That's a good place for it. That gives us one. Let's see what that does to our numbers. Let's see if that only, if it climbs more than a couple percent. Let that run for a while. Let's see.
Definitely going up.
Yep. So Colossal Ore did level up and is continuing to level up in terms of produced units. But what buildings did we get?
Colossal ore. I get it.
I mean, if you've listened to the in-game ads, you know that Colossal Ore is one of the companies.
I actually have not listened to the radio stations in the game, even when it was
I
vanilla. I was usually talking with friends or whatever instead of listening to.
I actually love the radio stations.
I heard they're good.
I'm looking forward to the new radio stations, the new games radio stations.
Well, I probably will be in 2 simply because it's of the ability to say, "Hey, there's a tornado coming."
Yeah, I like that they've added that mechanic. So I don't think we have a maintenance building, so let's put in a maintenance building. And do we actually need more? We've got a seabed mining vessel. I wonder if.
Ooh, is there ore under the river?
I think there's supposed to be in theory. I don't know if we actually have any, but let's you know what, before I go doing what I was thinking of doing, let's actually look at it. No, there's oil. Apparently. There's ore up this way. Like if I do start building out this area, then we could build a forestry industry up here, and we could theoretically build a coastal mining industry, which is
Gallatin is where you want forestry. Look at that.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I could start building some paths up into the hills, and building a little bit of forestry industry up here. Let me think about that, because we do have an industry demand now, and even if I don't do it as Industries DLC, but just a specialized zoned industry for forestry, that would be a good use of some of that land and would fulfill some of this industrial demand we have now. So I had wondered what I was going to do up there. It's going to mean, gotta think about how those roads are going to work, though.
You might have to just cross the.
I'm going to have to cross the railroad no matter what.
Right, but I don't know if you're going to do bridges or just cross at grade.
I'd like to do bridges, but that elbow is a little awkward, right?
Yep. Well, you'd have to do one sort of at one entrance, like almost where your cursor is, right?
I could, you know what? I didn't build anything on that spur right there.
Yeah,
I could blow that
spur
away,
can become a bridge,
and then I can slope up. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So let us sketch this out with just a plain 2U road. I'm going to start here, and we're going to go. Oh wait, curved road mode. Let's go straight for the moment. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Should get us, yes, that gets us over the railroad. We'll double check it in a bit. Let's stop it here. Then start going back down to grade. And now we'll go freeform so we can start doing a little zigging and a little zagging. And let's turn on terrain lines so we have some idea what our topography looks like at least. Yeah, clearly straight lines are not going to work here. Let's see, maybe.
Speaking of roads, I would have made dirt roads, but
yeah, let's do that. So that gives us a start. Not much of a start, but it's a start.
Ermina Evans Street.
Get our utilities up there.
I hope Ermina Evans was a forestry person.
Right? I doubt it. Whatever. And we need a district up here. Push that away. I think for now we are going to do this just as zoned but specialized industry. I don't feel like building out another Industries DLC industry right now. What are we going to call it? Who haven't I named something after yet from our Discord?
Let me take a look.
I know. I'm going to call it Wombat Forest.
Okay. Oh, the poor wombats, they're going to lose their forest home.
That's right.
I don't even know if wombats live in forests.
I don't think they do. But I don't know either. So let's... Nope, that's not what I want.
Wikipedia wombat.
I want the industrial specializations, and we want forestry specialization.
They are adaptable and habitat tolerant, are found in forested, mountains, and heathland
Oh, there we go.
areas
So
of
Wombat
southern
Forest is
and eastern
not,
Australia.
so apparently Wombat Forest is not that weird to say. Just build out
I
a
didn't
little
know what
bit
heathland
here.
meant, but apparently it's just, plains. Okay.
And probably I should have done some actual grading and terraforming there. But we're going to pretend that we're trying to leave this as natural as we can and just let the buildings build their own paths and let them suck up the trees. The interesting thing is the game never runs out of trees. Trees are a renewable resource, which, if you've got a good forestry industry, is actually replanting and so on. That's true. But yeah, like the forestry and farmland don't run out, and oil do.
And as I said much earlier in the stream, one of the first mods I'll be looking for on City Skylines 2 is infinite ore and oil.
Infinite ore, yep. We're going to call this.
And if that's not a day one mod, it will be a week one mod, I'm sure.
This is apparently an ability you can't do yet in City Skylines 2.
What's that?
Which is the ability to define the start and end points of a given road name.
Oh, really?
Like what constitutes a street in the legal and in the accounting sense.
So like you could make one side of that intersection Wombat Road and one side.
I could end Wombat Forest Road at the end of the bridge, for example, or whatever. And then this side automatically gets a new random name, which I could then change to be something else.
I thought it said Fudge Street. I was like,
that's I actually have a slight ambition to write a mod, because there's a mod I've always wanted. I've wanted this capability since SimCity 4 at least, because I think that may be the first one of these games that actually had named streets. I want the ability to name in patterns. I want the ability to say, here is the grid, here's ground zero, everything east is first street east, second street east, third street east, that kind of thing. I want to be able to have automatic name patterns, and there's no way to do that in any of these games right now. You have to manually go in and rename everything.
I have a friend, Sharon, who lives in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she still lives in this neighborhood, but she lived in a neighborhood for quite some time that all of the roads were named after malt liquors. because Vegas was growing so crazy at the time, this would have been probably the 2000s, that they were just picking random things. Like the next theme over, the next neighborhood over was all child's toys. So her street was like Mad Dog Lane, and there was like Liquid Loco Lane and stuff like that. But then the next sort of neighborhood over was like Yo-Yo Lane, Jack's Lane, not Candy Crush, Candyland Lane. Like there should be some neighborhood between those two neighborhoods.
There really should. All right, so now I'm starting to look over here, because there's a pretty good stretch of flat pad here. Like you can't build a huge neighborhood here, but you can build quite a bit.
And is that a highway access over?
This is a highway access. So,
Okay.
in theory, I don't need to build a bridge.
Not a great highway access, but
They
yeah.
would not be very well... like, Skylines would not be connected at all.
Unless you went all the way
And
through
you'd
the
have
city.
to go all
yeah.
the way around here to get off the highway to get into the rest of the town. So I probably do need a bridge, and so that's what I'm trying to figure out is where's that bridge going to go?
Well, where the bridge goes might depend on where
Maybe Green Street.
Where are you going to connect it up on the other side? Do you
Well,
want
that's
to
just
connect to
it. Like,
Skyton, or do you want to connect it to...
No, I want to... I mean, eventually I also want a bridge over from Skyton, but I figure the first bridge probably has to be...
Hey, solve everything. Have the bridge come off the other bridge.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
Because that's a thing that happens.
That is a thing that happens. There's at least bridge. There's at least one bridge in the metropolitan area of New York City that is actually a 3-point bridge, three destination bridge, if I remember correctly. I need to look it up, but I believe.
I was being obnoxious, but okay.
So let me think about that. Let me see if I can do that. Let's go. We'll go with our 4-lane. We don't need trees. We'll explicitly choose bridge pieces. We'll go curved. And we'll fork here. I'll curve the way I want it to curve, though. Doesn't look that. Keeps wanting to curve. Yeah, it doesn't like starting.
Cannot build on something. I didn't see what it said.
Cannot build on water.
Oh.
It's already occupied. What's already occupied? Oh, because the angle's too close. Let's do that.
Could you start it from the middle of
the
existing bridge?
That was the next thing I was going to try. Will it let me get away with this? The answer is no. It won't let me start it. Although, will it let me start it if I go back to normal mode?
Too bad.
It was a nice theory. No, I think I'm going to have to build it out from Green Street. Which means moving the recycling center because I'm going to need to expand Green Street. No, you know what? I can cheat. I will start it. Let me build the bridge first. So we go from here. This time we won't bother with a curve. We'll just go straight. Cannot build on water. What the hell? You can't build on water. That's the whole point of building a bridge, you silly machine.
How do you think bridges work, game?
Must be... Oh, I'm dumb. It's trying to build at negative elevation. That's been the problem all along.
Oh, well, maybe that's why it wasn't working from the middle of the bridge either.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So let's try this again. There we go. If I force the elevation, get something closer to what I want.
Neat.
Not right now. Way. That gives us our backbone. I may redo that. I want it to be a 4-lane road, but I may redo it as a narrow 4-lane road just to save me some real estate. In fact, before I continue to build it out, let me change that. Let's go with this.
Oh, so it doesn't have the divider in it?
Yeah, it basically it's the same width as a normal 2-lane road. It
Right.
just crams it in, and it means like no parking, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
People can park in their driveways.
that's right. And then um, how did I wind up coming off? Oh, that's right. I came off the bridge. I was originally going to come off of George Street here, and I was going to do the same thing to George Street, but I don't have to. So yeah, there we go. We've got access, and now let's get a backbone of utilities over there.
Also, don't forget to connect it up to the highway when you get the chance.
Yep.
The bridge has water.
I mean, it's less important to go under the road when you're going across a river. The whole idea of putting it under the road is if you actually had a water main break, where would you want to dig? In people's yards?
Yeah, that's true.
Or under the road?
Yep.
The answer is, of course, under the road. So that's the logic behind, even with the game mechanics not caring, putting water under the road right where it belongs.
Oh, I just noticed that thing you have up top about that gives you the little warnings you have. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. I think that's called Watch It, and it's part of this mod here, too. The one with all the buttons on the right side that show me the current state of my services.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I love that mod.
You have 3 dead people.
I see dead people. Don't even know they're dead. They're everywhere. Let's see. There we go. That's not too bad. So what are we going to do with this now? This bend here, because it's a 2-lane, 4-lane road, I think I'm going to make that a stroad. There's going to be some, and it's right off the highway, so there's going to be some commercial here. Let's district this too. Home. Everything this side of the highway. I don't think I have anything named for Ian yet, do I?
I was just that's so weird. I was literally about to say you don't have anything named for Ian. Like, you were 1 second ahead of me. That's what I was gonna say.
And stop. So what are we gonna do?
I should probably order a dinner.
What time is it? Oh, it's almost 4. Okay.
Yeah, which means it's almost 5 for me.
Right.
Because of time zones.
Time zones are so weird, man.
I think I'll order a calzone.
See what happens if I actually have the assets to fill in those 2 types. We'll find out. For policies, let's see. What do we want over here? Already got recycling citywide. Hang on a second, I got a message I want to look at. Carry the nothing. Let's see. What do I want? Use a lot of these a lot of the time. feel like I never took full advantage of all these capabilities. Okay, we're going to give them free Wi-Fi, because why not? Fishing license. No, I don't need the money that badly. Because I'm losing money at the moment, but I also have a lot of money. Prefer ferries. I'm going to turn that on, and I'm going to build a ferry eventually.
Cool.
And let's see, over here. I want the high-rise ban again. I don't know if I want high-tech housing yet. Courage biking, sure, why not? Make it all electric cars. That'd be fun. Sustainable fishing. I don't have any fishing yet, although there's a lot of shoreline there. I'm going to do any industry on that side. It's going to be fishing. Right, that's good for now. And let's start figuring out some zoning. Make some roads. Make some streets. Street.
I will be right back.
Be right here.
I am not left-handed.
I think that gives a little bit of space. Then eventually we'll go up into the hills. Let's connect this up too. There we go. And then let's see, another line down here. Perfect. Keep that to fewer intersections. Maybe we'll cut this in half. There we go. Yeah. Get some water in. Here and here. All right.
I am back.
Welcome back.
I know I was very much missed. Oh, that's some pretty good designing there. I like that.
Yeah, it's not too bad. That's a nice little sort of coastal suburb going there. I like it. I also want to look at the. It's been a little while since I've tried to do anything with the fishing industry. So I want to look at that. I want to see.
I didn't even know there was a fishing industry.
There is a fishing industry. It got added a while ago. You don't zone for it the same way. You build fishing harbors, and then there are buildings you can add to it. So the mechanic's a little different. It's a little closer to the industry's DLC mechanic, but without zoning a fishing zone, per se. And actually, I think I'm going to give us a little fishing harbor over
Yeah, that works. That works right there, or that well, maybe not destroying those rocks, and then
here. Yeah.
just extend that one road over, or there too.
Yeah, no, I kind of like it a little better here because those three, like at least the bottom two blocks here, are going to be commercial.
Okay.
So I don't have to worry as much about noise and things like that. And I can put a fish market in that zone, which keeps that nice and close.
Yep.
So now we need fishing route. Actually, let's see. This
Now, what
is
tells you where the fish
all-
are? The purple.
The purple here is all shellfish, and then the
Ah.
salmon. Then there's salmon a little closer to shore. There's anchovy all the way over here. There's, I think that's just water. I don't think that's actually tuna.
Right.
But if we had a deep blue, that would be tuna. So yeah, actually,
These aren't tuna waters.
These are not tuna waters. So let us build out a little route. That'll get us a little bit of everything. Fish market.
Especially the
We'll have to make some
salmon.
maybe. Oh no, we'll put it on the. There we go. The fish market right there. And fish factory. I have to adjust some of these routes because we can't build it next to the water, and none of these are quite the right shape. Everything's just a little too awkward. Unless I put it up here, which that's not too far.
Wait. It was green one way there. No, the next one down there was green for a moment.
Here? Oh,
No, in the next square down it was green. There.
yeah. No, okay. I keep forgetting you're seeing it with a lag.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Am I? I'm on
Yeah.
Twitch. I didn't think there was
No,
big lag on Twitch.
Twitch has just a slight lag too. YouTube and Twitch both have a lag.
Yeah. Well, YouTube's lag is significant.
Yeah.
That's which is why I switched to Twitch.
We'll put that there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We've already got water. Yeah, let's actually.
Although it is saying it's missing. It's saying it's missing something.
It is
Probably fish.
It's missing fish, which is not a surprise because we've really just started the industry, and it needs a certain amount to get anywhere, and we now need people to live over here. Let's once again let's build out a little bit of services before we zone everything up. Let's give them a good old dog park. Let's give them a playground.
It's a fish park. It says dog park.
Let's give them an elementary school over here because I think we've got plenty of capacity for elementary, but our coverage, like people would have to travel a long way. Kids would have to go a long way.
You do have good capacity for elementary. Wow.
Yeah, we're doing fine in that regard. Let's put the elementary school over here, and let's put fire station.
There's a fire at the old fish factory.
And a police station. And medical, let's do bridge. Not fantastic, but it's all right. And now, let's some houses. Yeah, I'm kind of liking how this is coming together. I'm glad I remembered about the fishing industry. It was like, okay, what are people over here going to do? Because it's a long way to jobs. Even if I build some commercial over here, it'll be a long way to jobs. And then I'm like, well, this is a perfect place for a fishing town. Perfect place for a fishing town. Add some commercial over here. Ooh, hang on a minute. I had a thought about. We have commercial specializations. We've got organic and local produce. This seems like the kind of town that would totally specialize and have a little market that's organic and local produce.
It's hippie town.
It's hippie town. That's exactly right.
And I can say that because I grew up in Ithaca.
Right? That's exactly what I was thinking is, ooh, Ithaca Farmers Market. I think there's actually, like in the unique buildings, I think there is a farmer's market outside too. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've looked at the unique buildings. Another
Rockport
mechanic.
has a...
Another mechanic I don't feel like I've played with enough.
Brockport has a farmer's market, and it's on this very tiny street, which makes sense that you because they block off the street while it's on the farmer's market, but it's actually called Market Street. I'm just like, how long is that? Like, is that way back the founding of the town? That's where the farmer's market was, or is it? Did they rename it, or I don't know. Like,
Let's see, we've got Farmers Guild. Yeah, those are all just assets. Those are... Yeah, no, I thought there was a farmer's market in game. Maybe not.
it is. It's that first one. It's just spelled wrong. It doesn't have an apostrophe.
Huh?
When you were searching.
Yeah, it's well. Why not? I've got the asset. I was going to say it's not not an official asset. It's something I downloaded in. But why not? We'll put that here near the fisherman. A couple of them. There we go.
They're rival farmers markets. Don't trust those other farmers.
Oh, they're all weird.
Not
enough
workers.
fish. More fish.
Has anyone actually moved in yet? Is the land value too high again, like it was in the other?
I don't know what's going on. Let me have a look.
It's too rich. It's too rich for our
farmers. It is actually pretty rich. But you know what? I'm just gonna let it sim. I'm just gonna let it tick away to itself and let it figure out what it wants to do. Because we've given them a lot of the amenities they're gonna want. So we really just kind of wait for them. Yeah, see.
Where's that train?
That's the train. The train.
Why is the train being so jerky?
I think because of the slope.
Oh, okay. So it's nothing we did.
No.
And when I say we, I mean you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there may be other reasons, like the simulator the simulation may be just having its bad luck.
Oh, there's like a repair car going on it. If you look at the very front of the line of trains.
Oh.
There was like a little tiny repair car.
Oh.
Isn't that what that is?
It's not. Tiny... It's a funicular. It's
Oh.
Ordinarily you'd see that on an inclined railway. So that must just be an asset I downloaded at some point and forgot about entirely.
Well, apparently it's transporting 30 people.
That's hysterical.
To Santa Varga.
Yeah, that's hysterical.
And the other trains are like, get out of the way,
dude. So we've got people, like there's people parking. Ooh, I should put in a parking lot. I should pave a little bit of paradise here and put in a parking lot. Apparently the fish factory finally feels like it has enough fish. I probably need another harbor.
Well, it's got fish now. The fish warning disappeared.
Yeah, I mean they're doing the thing, and they've got plenty of workers, and you can see the round and round they go. But probably one fisherman's pier, one fishing harbor is not enough to really generate enough fish.
Is it industry. One route per harbor?
Yeah, I think it is, and that's part of it. But that's okay because we have. What else do we have? We've got. Well, we We can't do the specialized harbors yet because we haven't caught enough fish yet. We have a fish farm that we can set up too. Let's see, where do we put that? We could demolish some road, but I don't want to. We can put that over here though. Space already occupied. You're a pain in the butt. I want to put it all the way over here. Or do I? It's a long way to get to market. Is the only problem. It's going to demolish some landscaping, but I want to make sure we can get a road to it. It's highway access. I don't want to mess with that. Maybe I should put the fish market a little further up. That's a little more room. I suppose I could move it. I have move it, so I can move it. Move it. Light of realism right there. Now, yes, I can put the fish farm there. We can farm us some fish too. Let's see how that goes. Let's see if that gives us.
Like how the fish boats go right through
You just
the
go
farm.
right through the farm. Yeah, there's no. They don't care. They have exactly
They have right
no.
away.
They have no fucks to give. They're just gonna blow right through.
Now, does it deplete fish? Like if we look at the fish map
I don't-
again, does it?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I genuinely do not know. I don't think so. I don't think the mechanic's that deep.
It does not look any different than it did a moment ago. So.
I don't think the mechanic's that deep at all. No, the real problem would be if there was any water pollution right here. Like if I was doing sewage dumping into the water, that would be a big problem.
Garbage fish.
Yay, garbage fish. But other than that, I think you pretty much I don't think it's smart enough to do. Yeah, I don't think it's got a deeper mechanic than that. And I'm okay with that, really. Not every mechanic has to be deep.
Yeah.
Who's still here? Looks like not a lot of people. That's okay. That's okay. Having fun. We're having a good conversation. Nobody's living here yet. You know what? I think it's that I don't actually have the assets for those two styles I picked out. Bet you if I switch it to European vanilla, we suddenly get.
Yeah. Oh, why? What did you? I didn't even look. What did you pick?
I'd put in like Mediterranean and something else, betting that there were simply no assets for it. No, okay, I may be wrong because that did not immediately start spawning. Got a couple of dead people. Let's go see about the dead people. Oh, I don't have any death care over here. That's why I've got dead people.
Someone died at the marketplace. Too many fish.
There's no death in fish. Wait. Let's lock this to the village. There's that many people living here, but still, let's keep that district only. Because I don't think we actually have a death processing problem. Ooh, sewage treatment. We need a sewage plant somewhere. This is where most of the dirty. This is where most of the dirty stuff is going. So I think I'm going to try to wedge another sewage plant over here.
Oh, you're using plants, not an outlet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to use the outlets all the time, and somewhere along the line, I decided that the ground pollution was actually easier to manage. over here, because the ore industry is pretty dirty. And we
Right
don't
in the
care
company town.
That's right. We don't care about the company town that much. They have their souls to the company store anyway. Yeah, that should help.
Right next to, I believe, the market you built for the company town.
That's right. These, yeah, these are all extracted out. I mean, the other fun part about having done that is this whole part of town is probably going to become suburb as we completely use up our resources.
Those ore places are.
Yep, they're all drained. We're definitely running out of here. I didn't want to put any mines directly on the collector. I guess I can do like a street here. Trying to be very mindful about what goes on directly on collectors. That's the fish industry. That's not going to help us.
Is that just a road directly onto an on-ramp?
Yes, it is. Sorry. Thank you. That's not. I did not want the road.
Do what you
to
want.
But... No, you're correct. I did not want the road to actually connect there. I wanted that, but I did not want. Oh Lord.
City planner place does not approve.
Yeah, no. CPP would. Phil would frown a lot. There we go. Let's stick that in
there. Yes, take the scenic on-ramp past the scenic mining site.
This is not the most beautiful part of town. Let's admit it. Let's just admit it and move on.
Only look towards your left at the swamp.
Right. Hey, at least it's not a fire swamp.
What about the ROUSs?
I don't believe they exist.
I don't think they exist.
I'm going. You know what? I'm going to cheat them this year. It's only for a little while anyway, because we'll use up all the ore. And there's not a huge amount of traffic, so I guess I'm not too worried about loading too much onto the collector right now. It's not like this part of town is getting a lot. Older mine that goes away. Industry itself is doing okay-ish.
It is interesting that it keeps the ore. Or, I'm sorry, the workers.
Yeah.
Once it's.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. It's all played out.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep paying you.
Yeah. My biggest problem right now, in fact, is workers. Somehow I need to get out to 650 workers, and I don't even know if I have that many. How many jobs do I have? Here we go.
You have 386.
I only have 386 jobs, let alone workers. Let's see what I can do to improve on that when I don't really have the ability to build more mines. There's just not enough stuff. Do I have the necessary inputs for fiberglass plants?
Build off.
Just requires ore, apparently, and it needs to be somewhere inside the industry area, which is fine because we freed up some space.
Now it needs ore.
Now, and that'll give us 85 workers, at least in theory. Let's see if there's enough places for workers to live. Let's go back over here for a minute, actually, and look at how our density is doing, because we densed up a whole bunch of this stuff, and yeah, they seem to be. They need more education, but that just takes time. What's our overall education doing?
I know you have lots of elementary. Do you have high school and college and such?
Capacity high school is about to be a problem. And of course, everything that's new is still going to show red.
Right.
Skyaton, apparently nobody's bothered going to high school.
I am unhappy for City Skylines too that they do not have a library building.
Do they not have a library at all yet? That's interesting.
There's a university library. It's one of the add-on buildings to the university.
Interesting. Okay. I did not notice that there isn't a separate public library.
I feel like I should write them a stern letter.
They'll get there. Like all of these.
As a librarian,
right? You know, they will get there. I have no doubt they're going to get there. I'm not very worried about it.
And actually, to be honest, you don't want them to build a building that doesn't have a mechanic connected to it.
Right, and that's exactly it. Is if they haven't figured a mechanic out, then there shouldn't be one yet. So this is interesting because we have had high schools for a while, and we've got adequate coverage for high schools, and yet we've got a lot of houses. I guess it must just be because they're still too new, because with realistic population on, they also don't grow up as fast.
Right.
So I think that's why we've still got a lot of red for high school, even though we're only just now reaching high school capacity. What do I want to do about the capacity problem? I think what I'm going to do is switch over to high schools. Let's go to the high capacity high school.
I always had high capacity for elementary because you put elementaries spread out for coverage, which meant...
Will that fit? No, it'll fit over here, and then I can do it. I don't need them side by side, but I do need them. But it makes sense to have the high capacity one near where I'm densing things up.
Yeah.
And oh, this is one of the mods I've got actually tells you what transit lines the building's near, which is very useful when you're starting to try to build out transit.
That's very cool.
All right. So we're growing our residential demand again. Have we actually gotten anyone moving in over here yet? No, nobody's moving in over here. Why not? This is something that City Skylines 1 has always been very opaque about, which is why do people move in or not move in? People are coming over here to use the playground, right? There's people parked here. There's people in the playground.
Yeah, I significantly think it might be that since it's right by the water, it's just too expensive.
Maybe, but seems a little weird. There's 5 people living here. And I'm not even sure where, because I haven't seen a single house actually zone in.
They're homeless. They just live on that side.
Right? Oh, wait. There we go. There's 2 tiny houses. Maybe the style thing is still a problem. Let me turn off these 2
Is there a policy for like low rent or rent control or anything like that?
No, there isn't. No, the problem was that I had those 2 zones, those 2 styles.
Wow. Oh wow.
I had those 2 styles active, and they were claiming zones even though the assets didn't exist. And so when I changed that, now I'm going to change that. I'm going to turn this off too. I'm going to switch it over. And everyone's going to complain about that too, and all of these are going to disappear. But that's okay. Now that we know what was happening, I don't care as long as we can fix it and get that all zoned in.
Is that what's happening over to the very rich areas in Skytown?
I don't think so. Skytown, I think, eventually all filled in.
Oh,
yeah, everything I zoned in Skytown is now filled in. It just took a little while.
Not along the water? Oh, are there homes there?
You know what?
I guess there are.
Are there homes here? There are not. Now, that's interesting. Maybe that is what's happening. Let me have a look. What did I put there? I didn't put anything. I didn't actually wind up specializing Skyton. Oh, no, that's Wombat Forest. Oops. Skyton. What did I do? I did France and Belgium. I did suburban upper class. and I did shorter stuff. And I'll bet you some of these don't actually have all their assets, so I'm going to get rid of that because I don't feel like messing with it. I'm just going to leave it to generic shorter stuff, and we'll let it figure itself out. That's sort of...
Shorter stuff, which you know it works. Yeah.
Well, I think it mostly works. There may still be some assets there that aren't really pulled in. I wonder if District Styles will actually tell me the assets it's missing for something. I don't know if it's that smart. Let's find out. Shorter stuff. Display included. See if there's like anything that shows up red or anything like that. No. Zombie Lake House. That's what that means. Let's see. See if I can find something I know should be here. No, I think that's just... Yeah, these all appear to actually be loaded. Let it run and see what happens. I really am surprised that these zones haven't zoned. I would have expected, like, yeah, that's weird. Weird. Also weird. I just did something unintentional. Let me just accidentally specialized. Well, we'll leave that alone for now, because I'm messing around too much, and there is some residential here, so it's not like nothing came in. We'll fix it
As long as
another
they
time.
started building in Ian Town, it's all good.
Yep. Yeah, Ian Town is now filling in nicely.
Hello, fisherman. You appreciate being able to live where you work.
Apparently they do. Pretty happy. I wonder what my happiness levels are. I don't tend to check that as much in this game.
There's a smiley face.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's grinning. Commercial happiness could be better, but everyone's grinning. That's going to matter much more in the new game from everything I've seen.
Yeah.
Keeping track of happiness. But it's also going to be much easier to figure out why people are unhappy.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. And the fish farm is doing okay. And probably build out some more fishy things over here too, eventually. Because we've got all of this coastline. And even though it will be a bit of a schlep to get stuff over to the fish market, the fish factory, yeah, I think I'm going to do it now. Actually, let's do that. Let's be fishy.
Fish factory, not enough fish.
Yeah, let's be fishy. Let's add another harbor. Here, we already have a road connection.
I'm on the down east.
And workers are already showing up, so
People gotta eat.
People gotta eat. Oop, jump a game. Us. You know what I should do? I should build a bus route that intersects with one of my routes down here.
Yeah, probably
That
true.
allows for some bus commuting. Like, I wouldn't do it if this was my starter town here, there'd be no buses here. But one bus route to get people to and from town? That makes sense. So let's...
Yeah, because maybe someone doesn't have a car, but they do want fresh fish.
And honestly, even if they do have a car, we want to get people out of their cars. And I don't have a lot of bus routes yet. I've only got the 2. Ooh, we jumped again.
Where do your current bus routes go?
It's really just in the part of town that I want to be dense.
Ah.
It's just Renaysville and Lydra that have bus routes at all.
You should do a tram route across the bridge.
No, trams. What I'm probably going to do eventually is like, I'm going to have to think about how it will connect, but I'd like to do a perimeter tram route around both of these. But for now...
But yeah, you should do a bus route over to...
A bus route... Yeah, I'm looking at the points of intersection that'll make the most sense. I'm gonna hide... I'm gonna hide... I guess we can't hide them completely, or we'll be able to draw anything new. No, I know. I'll just start on the other side, and then I can... Way down to here. And here. Up. There. It's a bit of an awkward turnaround, but I can connect those up, and that'll be better. I just want to make this a single line circulator. I think I'm going to have to. There. There. See how that does. We won't put any counter rotator in yet. That'll be a little awkward, but we'll just leave that as a single line rotator for now. Let's see. It's already got people on it.
Nice.
Apparently, a lot of people want fish. Or a lot of people from the other side want to come down to shop. It's a little hard to tell which yet. Let's have a look. Nope, that's 100 and... Well, we're definitely going to need bigger buses on this route. Specific config, and let's go with super bendy bus. It's expensive. There we go. Now I figured out what these buttons do. These buttons clear away the old... Doesn't clear the list, it clears away the old buses and turns them back into whatever we've selected. Okay. That should keep us going for a while. Actually, with the really big buses, it may wind up being too many buses. But we'll let it run because we've got money.
Money's good.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, but some other line is now complaining.
J.C. Cohen, pointer outer of the obvious.
Yep. Thank you, Councilor
Money is
Croy.
good.
Money's good. Yeah, we're doing okay now. We'll let that run. That should make people happy. That should get us a lot of what we need. Oh, and I want to finish connecting up that road. Let's move it to make that a little less. Oh, that was too. That's right, that was highway originally. No, I think that's okay. I'll leave that. But I don't want the intersection there. So we're going to use node controller. And we're going to call that a middle. That's also awkward, but I don't want a crossing there.
Right.
Maybe I should just downgrade the rest of that segment. But it's a lot less awkward if it's happening at an intersection already to change how many lanes we're dealing with.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you
Sure.
want to make that a one-lane road? Or not one lane, one-way
One-way road? No, I don't think so, because eventually I may want a counter-rotating bus.
Okay.
In which case we'll need to be able to go the other way. However, I'm not sure this whole curve around is Aspen Street. So let's... Especially when it's actually not just the curve, but like the whole bridge is Aspen Street. So
Oh, wow.
Let's reel that back. Let's reel that back. Let's find somewhere.
That's been Fibonacci Street.
Right. Can't click anywhere on the bridge to get the info view. That's bigly annoying. All right, we'll do it a different way. We will shorten Aspen Street from the other side. The bridge will not be the Aspen Bridge. Start Aspen Street. There. End Aspen Street. Most of the time I don't care that much, but when I see something that ridiculous, I'm like, no. I don't mind if Magnolia Street's a bit of a curve around here, because I don't really have a grid here. But Aspen Street being like the whole bridge and around.
Someone joined on Twitch and said hello.
Hello, Aleppo Plays.
Yeah.
Welcome to my little city stream. Very little, because I think you're one of the few people who's joined us on Twitch. So hi. And Samira, it looks like you're still on over on YouTube, so thanks for sticking with me. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Even though I'm just background noise for you, I hope you're enjoying it. What should I put over here by the other fish farm? The other fish harbor? Should I put some commercial over here? I feel like I should put some commercial.
Yeah, maybe some more commercial. That'd be fine.
Like, I don't want to be too busy, but that feels pretty bare. And then I got to figure out what I'm doing with the rest of this side of the river. Because, yeah, the terrain's not fantastic, but it's not awful. Like, I've got the terrain markers on. And it's a little slopey, but it's not super steep until you get up by this nipple.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount of land here we could work with.
I mean, you still need you still need
Still need
residential.
people. We need a lot of residential, so I think I need to start thinking about.
So it might be time to just build kind of a spiral up that mountain.
Yeah. I need to start thinking about at least like the first couple of tiers here of possible extra housing. Let us. And we've got some more people. We've got Drew now on the YouTube, and Samira is still there. So hello. And
It could be an amphitheater.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have. I don't know if we have the asset for it. We have a good, because I could see it like carving out an amphitheater over here, like up here, right here. I don't know if that's what Drew had in mind, but right under the name Village of Eanton, I could see doing something up here. But I don't know if we have a good asset for it. I'll have to look into that. That's an interesting idea, is making this some kind of like making the peak some kind of destination. I need a drink of water.
Water good?
Water is good. I think I'm going to be doing this for about another 15 minutes, and then I might do again later this evening, but I think I may take a break, because 3 hours feels like a good long stream.
Yeah, and actually that's coincidental, because my dinner will be arriving right at that time.
And, you know, I can, in terms of actually playing the game, I could play the game for hours and hours and hours, but how long I can play and talk is, you know, not necessarily infinite. So, for those of you joining late, I'm sorry you're just joining, and I'm probably going to wrap up soon, but I will do this again. I'll probably do it with the new game when the new game comes out, with City Skylines 2 comes out. I don't know if I'll continue this city on stream or what in City Skylines 1, but maybe I will. We'll see. Because I am liking this build, and it wasn't like I was planning to delete City Skylines 1 the minute City Skylines 2 comes out. So, alright, we've got a new tier of potential housing here. Let's give it some water. Yeah, I think the amphitheater idea, Drew, I think that's a good one. I'm almost positive I've got some kind of asset that would be good for that. I think even the base game has something that might be good for that up there. I just need to go through like the park assets and things like that and see what I can find.
Put a dog park up there.
I mean, eventually, maybe, because everybody loves a dog park. Everybody loves a dog park. Seriously, City Planner Phil talks about that all the time. Like, every time he's trying to figure out where to put park assets and whatever, he's like, I think we need a dog park here. Everybody loves a dog park.
Facebook has been showing me ads lately, or not ads, their little video things.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's some company that they take like dog treadmills around to give dogs a chance to like run their hearts out. And like dogs are crazy, at least the dogs they find are crazy for it. Like
you know, I could see some dogs actually liking that, because, you know, run. Yeah. All right, let's build some housing on these. I don't know if this is really respecting the topography, but as we said earlier in the stream, if you go to a place like California, the Bay Area, they don't respect the topography. They build wherever they can build. So we're going to build, because we need housing. Because I'm really not sure what else to do with this hill here,
and
other than eventually build an amphitheater up at the peak.
Because it is instantly filling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they really wanted this this housing. Although interesting, we've still got a gap. Oh, I never zoned that. That's why we've got a gap. We don't have a gap. I just never zoned. Oh, right, because that's the highway. I was originally not going to zone residential along the highway. That was going to be more commercial. So we'll do that. Because that is the Strode. Katy Street. I'm going to rename Katy Street. County Road 1. There. And maybe I'll remember
Road
that's a
Street.
Strode. But yeah, like everything that I just zoned is filling right in. So clearly they wanted it. Let's see. Let's see what we can see. What else? You need some more commercial. Put that more commercial over here. I don't really want a huge amount of commercial yet over here. I don't want to jam up the road yet. I want to kind of fishing route efficiency 100%. What's the other side? Also 100%. They really like the fish. Apparently I did well by those fishing routes. Fish factory doesn't seem to be complaining anymore about not having enough fish.
Do the boats have names? Like if you click on a
I don't
boat?
know. Fishing boat. Bodie McBoatface. I couldn't resist. Once you asked. Knowing that almost every asset in the game can be renamed.
And you need to name one Alexa.
Yes, I do.
Now, whether they lose their name every time they respawn, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but it's still funny. Actually, they're moving fast enough that we can just follow Alexa around and see if it unspawns and respawns without a name.
Ooh, they fill
and
up fast.
these are mechanics that I do hope that they eventually find a way to do in the new game, right? Like I don't blame them for not immediately adding them to the
That was
new
interesting.
game.
Once it hit 100, it just
it just zooms back to dock.
Yeah.
And then let's see, did it spawn with the name? Nope, it spawned with a new name. So you can only name it for one route, which makes sense. I'm pretty sure they never intended the individual boats to be named. It's just that every asset in the game.
What they don't tell you is that boat is completely deconstructed.
That's right. And yes, Drew, I guess that boat is going down east. I mean, it was a very obvious reference. We weren't even trying to be subtle when we decided on that. So, yeah, we've got 2 good fishing routes going on. So we've got lots of fish coming in. I don't know. I think that's helping our budget. Our budget's kind of bouncing around. I suspect a lot of the bouncing around is because like our farm. You know what? I need to find a little more room for growing crops because we shouldn't be importing a damn thing. We've got this industry here. I'm going to fix that before I'm done. So, see if I've got some room for a medium crop field that's still.
Okay, Mikey, my food is almost here, and you said you're finishing in about 7
minutes. I'm going to finish
anyway,
up in a few minutes anyway. So,
if you get back on, I may hop on with you.
Very much for joining.
I'll talk to you another time.
Yep.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Hope I wasn't too annoying.
Take care, JC.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, so there we go. We've got us some farmland. And we're close to 20,000 people. That's a line I'd actually like to get over. I'd like to get us over 20,000 people before we wrap this up. Let me do that the easy way by giving them more places to live. That'll get us over 20,000 people. How could we be losing people when I just built houses? There we go. I bet you there's some upgrades happening somewhere. Because upgrades always mean people leave their houses and then move back in. Oh, hey, some of these are upgrading nicely. Some fancy places over here. Fancy and schmancy. I'm going to build more density over here, too. Let me do that. Redevelopment. It's what's for dinner. Oh, hey, that roundabout's getting busy, isn't it? I wonder if I should give that more lanes. No, it's moving along. Nothing's stopped up. Do I have a queue anywhere? I haven't actually been paying attention to my traffic. I should look at my traffic. Let's call up 84%. Not bad for someone who has not been paying attention to his traffic. I'll take that. Yeah, we've got some busy places, but nothing's backed up. Awesome. I might know what I'm doing. That's kind of terrifying. This will eventually need something. But, you know, the fact that this interchange even works is still boggling me, so I'll take it. For those of you still watching over on YouTube and Twitch, if in fact anyone, I had to do this side particularly weird because, of course, we've got this railroad here, and I didn't want at-grade highway ramps. That just felt terrible. And the game probably wouldn't have let me do it anyway because the railroad is so close to the highway. And this was all already here. This was part of the map. And I also wanted to preserve as much of this little swamp lake thing, this pond, as I could, because it's kind of neat. I actually kind of like it. It's very pretty. And again, it was part of the map. So I'm like, why would I want to wreck that? Wetlands are important. A drainage pond here is important, if nothing else. So I did everything I could to preserve this area as much as I could, and I think I didn't do too badly. But it looks funny, and some of that's just, you know, City Skylines 1 highway building tools are a little awkward, and I'm really looking forward to City Skylines 2 road building tools a lot. And we didn't just cross 20,000, we crossed up to 21,000. Wow, I think with a little more push, I could actually get to the next milestone, and it wouldn't take me that much longer than I've currently gone. So I'm going to do that. Do another chunk here. Hopefully that won't completely destroy my traffic by adding more density over there, but I don't think it will. And we'll see where that gets us, and we'll see what services are like suddenly bad. Fire safety is still a problem, isn't it? I don't have enough fire stations. Do I have any fire stations over here? I have no fire stations over in Skylines. I should fix that. Even though nobody's really complained, I should fix that. Yeah, that's better. Especially since I've got a forestry industry up here, I really ought to have fire stations. Does it connect to the lake/ocean? Does which connect to the lake? That pond? I don't know where that pond comes from. That pond appears to be spring-fed. If you actually make a map, you can basically plant water sources. It's not quite the same as the new groundwater mechanic in the new game, but you can actually place water sources. And I have a mod that would let me place a water source on the map myself if I wanted. Like I could. I don't know if it's a really good idea, but yeah. And actually, you can see it. There it is. There's the dot for the water source that someone planted in map maker mode. But like I could come over here, find a place where it's not going to be dangerous. I could go to the top of the hill in Eatonton and create a waterfall by creating a water source up there. I don't think it would be a very good idea, so I'm not going to do it. But I could plant a water source here, and interesting things would happen. And if you do that in map maker mode, then you've basically added a lake to the game. There are other ways you can build artificial lakes, like in the vanilla game. You can use a water outlet, which will just basically generate water from nowhere, and then match it with a water pump to sort of balance things out, so that you're taking water out of it, so that it doesn't overflow if it's not deep enough. Which is the only way I'm aware of in the vanilla game to do the same kind of thing. All right, we're close to the goal that I just set to try to get to that 24,000 milestone. Did I? Yeah, there we go. That didn't get completely zoned. A couple of gets. Sometimes when you're doing the right click and then left click to rezone something, it doesn't quite catch the right way. And you wind up not actually zoning in. Yeah, the water source thing is actually pretty neat. I haven't played with it that much. I've never made my own map. I've got a bunch of things I think I'm going to do in the new game. I don't think I'm going to do them now in the old game this late in the cycle. Oh, and now suddenly this roundabout is a mess because everyone's moving in. I'm gonna leave it run though. I'm not gonna mess with it just yet. What I think I could do is bump it up to 3 lanes around, even though all the feeders are 2 lanes, and that would give us some lane mathematics. But I don't know if it needs it long term or if we've just got a lot of moving trucks coming in, which is why I'm currently inclined to leave it alone and let it play out. Though that is backing up a lot. Maybe I'm going to mess with it after all. Let's do that real quick. Let's see. We need 3 lane, 1 way. Bonk. Bonk. Ah! Bonk. Fix that. Now let's check that we didn't get any yield signs or anything we don't want. No crossings. Nothing weird. It looks like it's okay. And that looks like it's mostly fixed it. Just giving them a little more capacity. Adding 1 more lane isn't always the answer, but sometimes 1 more lane is the answer. All right. So that's spinning nicely. We are very close to the milestone. I'm going to let it run to the milestone. Maybe add a little more suburban housing somewhere. That I'm not doing this just with density. Oh, you know what? I really shouldn't zone there because those are going to be knocked down when I extend the cross streets up. Around the bend there. Maybe some here. And we are 25 away from the goal. Pretty nifty. And there we are. We are a capital city. Huzzah! So we have hit the goal. And I want to thank everyone for coming along on this ride. I'm going to save this out. This has been Uncle Mikey streaming out his last city in Cities Skylines 1. And if I get time, I might do one more stream because I do like the way this city came together. But City Skylines 2 is out in 9 days, and I'm really eager to start playing that. I will definitely be streaming that at least the first couple of days, first couple of plays through. And if people are showing up, then I'll do it. I'll keep doing it. I'd love a larger audience, but you've been a lovely audience, and that's important too. So thank you very much for being here. It was good to see you, Samira. It's been a long time, so hopefully we will get to chat in person soon. Drew, thank you for showing up. Jen, I think you showed up over on Twitch. Thank you for being here. And everybody have a lovely day.